Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Morgan and welcome back to Feel Good Plans. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I'm posting this a little bit late, but I figured better late than never. This is the second half of the week of our movie lettering challenge. We are continuing to letter words and phrases from the movie When Harry Met Sally. I am recording this actually on Saturday the 23rd, which just happens to be National Handwriting Day. So happy National Handwriting Day. What better day than to practice our hand lettering? But since I am a day behind, let's go ahead and do our lettering for Friday the 22nd. And the word for Friday the 22nd is meow. And if you love When Harry Met Sally like I do, you'll know that this is referring to a conversation that Harry had with Jess, and they were talking about how Harry actually made a woman meow. We'll just leave it at that, and we'll go ahead and get it lettered. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, let me just go ahead and give a little plug here. I love to do my lettering with my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen. I'm probably butchering that, but there you go. All right, let's go ahead and get meow lettered. All right, so I'm gonna do an M, and this M is gonna be a bit more traditional with like a cursive M in that there's 3 humps, but this is a good way to practice your strokes. So it's a thin up, thick down, thin up, thick down. Got a good looking M there. E, cross that over. Down, thin up, thick down, thin up. If you want to add just a little bit of oomph at the end of that W, end it with a little loop. There you go. That's meow, and I'm going to go ahead and finish the section. Friends, that is meow. That brings us to our bonus row, and for the bonus row I think I'm going to just kind of play around with a slightly different style. And the only reason I do this, I would encourage you to find your own style and stick with it and practice that over and over and over again. That way you become kind of an expert at it. But every once in a while I find myself looking at my hand lettering and I just kind of feel like, I don't like that letter. I don't like the way that looks. And so I want to give you some other ideas on how you may want to style your lettering. And for this bonus row, I think we're going to practice just a slightly simpler design. And let me just dive right in and show you. So instead of doing 3 humps for the M, I think we're going to do just a very traditional M. And so I'm going to do a thick downstroke. There you go. We'll keep the E the same. E's are pretty straightforward. And I will simplify that W and not do the little loop at the end. So it's a little scaled back, maybe not as flourished. I don't know if that's the right word, but still looks pretty good, pretty clean. And I'm gonna finish the row in this style. All right, friends, that is meow. I did find myself getting a little bit shaky in this section, so just a little reminder, slow down. go slow. You're not under any kind of time crunch here, and your strokes will be cleaner and they'll thank you for it. So yeah, that's Meow, and stay tuned for Saturday the 23rd. Okay, it is time to letter for Saturday the 23rd, and today I am lettering with my green Tombow Fude pen, and the word for today is friends. Simply put, I mean, that's what a lot of When Harry Met Sally is about, how two friends can turn into lovers, I guess. So let's get friends lettered. So to do the lowercase f, I'm going to give it a little bit of a tail before I go into my first loop. And I'm going to start that, that would be basically around probably the 7 or 8 o'clock location. And I'm going to bring it just a little bit above the midline, thick downstroke. I'm going to do a thin up. I like to make my lowercase f's go basically the bottom half be smaller than the top half. Let's see, we're gonna bring that up. Cross it over. Do the O for the D. Thick downstroke to finish that S off. Don't forget to dot the I. And that is friends. I am going to go ahead and finish this section in this style. Okay, friends, that is friends. And that brings us to our bonus row. And for this bonus row, I think we are going to continue our practice of writing smaller. And if this is the first time you've been with me while I've practiced smaller writing, the reason I do that is because the rows on these planners are very, very big. But if you've planned for any length of time at all, you'll know that planners just don't have that type of space to work with. And if you want to practice lettering in your planner, it would be a good idea to figure out a good style and way to write smaller. And I think that's what we're going to finish this row with. So let's get it going. Without the guideline, it's always kind of harder to know where to start and stop. But let's see, bring that up. Not quite as pretty as the bigger version, but not too bad either. And I'm going to go ahead and finish the row in this style. Okay, that wraps up friends for Saturday the 23rd, and stay tuned for Sunday the 24th. Okay, welcome back. And the word for Sunday the 24th is marriage. And not to spoil it, hopefully you've seen When Harry Met Sally, but that's basically how it ends. They get married. There's also other marriage references in there. Obviously, marriages, divorces, Jess and Marie get together and get married. That's basically what a lot of it's about. But let's go ahead and jump in and get that lettered, shall we? If you remember from earlier in the video, we actually got some pretty good practice with M's for the word meow. And we basically just get to continue that for marriage. So I'm going to keep that same style that we did before with basically the three humps. So thin up, thick down. Don't forget to pick up your pen when you do this. Thin up, thick down, pick your pen up, and pick your pen up. Another A. Bring it home with an E. There you have it. That is marriage, and I'm going to continue this section in that style. Okay, that is marriage, and that brings us to our bonus row. And for the bonus row, let's do some practice on uppercase letters. And if you've been with me for any period of time, I like to do my capital M's just a little bit different, and I'm going to show you. So to do my capital M, I like to do, I call it loopy. It's a loopy M. So we're gonna do a thin upstroke, loop that around, thick downstroke, and then repeat, thin, loop, thick. There you have it. And when you're practicing with your uppercase, basically the combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, it is up to you as to whether or not you want to connect them. And in this case, I'm not going to do that. So we're just going to go straight into the A. Okay, there you have it. That's marriage with a capital M, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get that written out one more time here. Okay, that wraps it up for marriage. Just a couple things to point out on the second one on the bonus row. I did go ahead and decide to connect that to the A, just to give you some good variety. Also, as you can see up here, apparently I need to focus a little bit more on the letters and not just how I'm writing them. This is my practice too. Yeah, totally butchered how to spell marriage there. Tend to get a little in my head sometimes about the upstrokes and downstrokes and things like that, and you kind of forget what it is that you're writing. But you know what? It still looks good. Okay, so that wraps it up for Sunday the 24th, and if you hold on just a second, we'll dive into the practice that is at the end of each week in these love letter planners. Okay, welcome back. We have already finished the week, but at the end of each week, there is some awesome lettering practice that is sort of pre-written, pre-planned out for us by the Happy Planner. And today's practice is this week's practice is going to be about the I stroke. And here is what it has to say. So the I stroke is also the letter I and is used to create these letter forms. So this is also used for A's, I's, T's, U's, and W's. And if you'll see here, the little dot starts at the midline. it loops around and basically ends just maybe a hair below that middle guideline. So you would thick downstroke it, thin upstroke, and that's it. It's a very simple stroke, but once you master it, it's used a lot in a lot of different letters. And just to sort of end it, basically to drive home, another use of it, if you extend that stem, a longer stem is used for the letter T. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna split this practice. We're gonna do 2 rows of shorter strokes, which would basically be like an I, and then we'll do 2 rows of longer strokes, which would be for a T, or even if you want to do a simpler kind of font, it would also work pretty well for an L. But let's do our I's first. So literally just thick downstroke, thin up, and dot it. That's it. Thick down, thin up, thick down, thin up. So that's it. That's literally it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this row and the next one in this style. Okay, that wraps it up for the I. Now let's do some T's. Now the example didn't mention needing to cross the T's, but we are gonna do that in this practice. So for that long T, I'm not gonna start it like right at the very top of that row, but we're gonna just do just a hair below that. So thick downstroke, thin up, and we're gonna end it basically in the exact same place that we ended the I. There's no need to end it high like you did with the I, which in many ways was a U, because with that T, your upstroke is meant to sort of start the stroke for your next letter. And if you're doing lowercase letters, you're not gonna really need to be, above this middle guideline here. Now, if we were doing like an uppercase U, then that would be our stroke, is that it would be like a thick downstroke, thin up, and you could basically bring it up nearly almost the entire way. But that's not what we're doing here. We're doing T's. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross that T, and let's do it again. Thick downstroke, thin up. Now, there's also a few different ways you can cross those T's. We did a pretty simple one here. If you want to add a little bit of oomph to it, you could do just a little bit of a kind of a swirly little guy there. Thick downstroke, thin up. All right. That's a pretty good example there, and I'm going to finish the rest of this section. All right, friends, that wraps up this week's lettering practice. And that wraps up the full week here of our When Harry Met Sally words and phrases. And next week is going to be our last week of using When Harry Met Sally. We will flip to another movie. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had as much fun as I did. If you want to connect outside of YouTube, I am on Instagram at feelgoodplans. And if you like what you see, I hope you'll like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.